IELTS 20% effort, 80% result. I understand the title is so enticing, but I promise you that I'll not disappoint you. In this video, we'll understand how to get that band 8 each in all the IELTS modules with very minimal effort, but those minimal efforts will actually reap you a lot of benefits. Welcome to this video wherein I will be talking about all the IELTS secrets decoded. All you got to make sure is watch the video till the end. Hey everybody, Nakul from Skills IELTS. Really hope everybody is doing fantastic. I'm back with yet another video on complete IELTS secrets revealed. Yes, today we'll be revealing a lot of secrets, and also I will be hinting you on how to put minimal efforts and still reap most of the benefits, like 80% results with 20% effort. Before we get into the video, if not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, and anytime you need online assistance, it's a paid assistance. You can WhatsApp us to the number appearing at the bottom of the screen. I'll be there. We will be there to help you guide in the right direction. Alright, let's straight away start the video. Yes, first thing first, we will start with speaking and then come to writing, reading and listening. Speaking, alright, how to get that 80% result with just 20% effort? See, it's fairly simple. All you got to do is log into idp.com and understand how your IELTS speaking is evaluated. There is a mark for fluency and pronunciation, there is a mark for coherence, there is a mark for vocabulary, there is a mark for grammar. What about content? Just observe that the content is not written, meaning content is not a priority. I'm not asking you to speak something that comes to your mind. Absolutely no, because there is a human sitting there. That person would have some sense, right? You cannot speak something generic, something of a template and finish it off. No, you have to speak something that makes sense at least to the person, but you don't have to really focus more on it. That means this kidney, right? You don't have to give 100% usage of this to focus on the right ideas. Correct? Give this 90% of the usage to fluency, coherence, grammar and vocabulary. The rest 10% can be towards creating that right content. Meaning, let's say there is a question, how is the weather like at your place, and you really don't know about it, and you don't have to really worry. You just focus on the fluency and continue speaking. I'm not really sure about the weather as to how it is like at my place, but all I know is this place is a wonderful place which attracts a lot of tourists throughout the year. I believe this makes the weather very predictable. That's the reason there is a lot of tourists coming in, and also weather should be very mild, though I'm not really sure about it. See, I did not bring any idea. I just brought in tourists. Whenever I don't have a clue on what should I say, I'll just bring in tourists. This will fetch me full marks because I was very fluent. I was continuous with a rhythmic speed. I did not fumble. My pronunciation is decent enough that anybody who listens it would understand. And coherence, cohesion, I introduced the idea and then brought supporting idea as a tourist, and then ended saying it should be really predictable and a mild or very pleasant weather. Vocabulary, not a huge priority. Grammar, yes, I made sure I use simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence. I should be still in a contention for a better marks. So this is what the IELTS speaking is. A lot of people put their entire effort, 100%, 10% effort towards creating that right idea without understanding that ideas is not going to make a huge difference towards your scores. Having said that, this is not just for part 1. For part 2 and the part 3, same thing will continue. We need to give more preference to the fluency and the coherence. That's the secret which is decoded. An IELTS examiner who listens to you would just sit silently, right? She would be only eyeing at how you speak rather than what you speak. So when you practice as well, pay more attention to how to speak rather than what to speak. This continues for part 1, part 2 and part 3. Having said that, part 1, yes, you cannot simply say something. Yes, you need to make some sense, but whatever you speak, have a main idea, some supporting idea and some example or a conclusion. 20 to 22 seconds you have to speak with the proper rhythm. You can pause, you can just go slow, no problem. Maintain that rhythm. I'm not speaking fast right now, I'm going slow, but I'm maintaining that rhythm that it seems that I'm continuous. This is what the secret towards to your IELTS speaking. That's a part 1. Have a template that I've shared in many of the videos, a generic structure template which gives you an idea on how to construct the sentences. First line going to be main idea, second line going to be supporting idea, third line going to be a conclusion. This is the part 1, and this you repeat it 5 times will become part 2. Part 2 you have to speak for 120 seconds minimum, that is 2 minutes. Part 1 you are speaking for 25 seconds. Repeat that part 1 for 5 times. Part 2 is done. Now part 2 again. Part 1 you make it so precise. Part 2 you just have to recite the same thing with multiple structure. For part 2 there is a cue card, isn't it? For the cue card you start with the background information. For the background information again main idea, supporting idea, some conclusion or examples. That will be for 25 seconds. And they would have given you 3 bulletin points to look into and talk about. The first bulletin point, one main idea, supporting idea, example. Second bulletin point, one main idea, supporting idea, example. Third bulletin point, one main idea, supporting idea, example. So finished background for 25 seconds. First bulletin point 25 seconds, second bulletin point 25 seconds, third bulletin point 25 seconds. So 4 times we have repeated part 1. The last is the futuristic. In the future, if I were given this book to read, I would definitely read this same genre of book, because again main idea, supporting idea, example. So it's basically divided into 5 simple structures. The first is background information, wherein part 1 you speak for 25 seconds around. Then first bulletin point 25 seconds, second bulletin point 25 seconds, third bulletin point 25 seconds. The fifth one rather, the last is for 25 seconds you talk about the futuristic possibility. It's still the part 1. You don't have to specifically prepare for part 2. Part 1 you be precise and take it along. Part 1 to the part 2 is done. Now part 3 you may have to speak a little more, because that's what the examiner will be expecting you to speak. So part 3, what are you going to do? Part 1 only you speak for 30 to 40 seconds. Main idea, supporting idea, example, don't speak in one line, give at least 2-3 sentences, 30 seconds, done. So these are the shortcuts, wherein you don't have to prepare much in terms of the content and lot many things. All you need is part 1 be precise and take the same concepts to part 2 and part 3 be wise. That's about speaking. Now let's go to writing. Well, writing is a nightmare for a lot of students because of the wrong guidance. Use this 10 words, you get 9 bands. You don't get 9 bands with those 10 words. Use these 9 words for 9 bands, rhyming. That's what people put up in the internet. That is not going to make any difference to your scores. Here the shortcut is the right idea, task response, and narration, coherence, cohesion. These 2 are the ones that decide your writing scores. So accordingly you need to prepare. You won't have to put a lot of efforts. Put your efforts only to the idea and narration. Idea, narration. Not much of the vocabulary. Grammar should be decent enough. If you are average in English, if every day you speak English with your friends, then your grammar will be decent enough. That is enough. Make sure you mix simple, compound and complex sentence for grammar. Vocabulary, simple words you use. Don't write some hi-fi complex words just for the sake of getting more marks. You don't get more marks getting it right. So don't use the slangs for the vocabulary. Use normal words. That's totally fine. I'm going to do that. No, he is going to do that. He will do that. Use some normal, polite way. Apart from that, you don't have too much worry. Focus more on the task response, coherence, quotient. Task response, you read the question and understand what has to be answered for that question. Coherence, quotient, you understood what has to be answered. Coherence, quotient is how you gonna answer it. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages. I'll write 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages. Score say 4.5 or 5. I write 1 advantage in the first line. Second line, I give supporting idea for that advantage. Third and fourth and fifth line, in 3 sentences I explain with an example for the same advantage. The entire bundle will be for 1 idea. Second paragraph wherein you talked 6 to 7 sentences. Main idea, supporting idea, example in 3 or 2 sentences. This is 1 para. This you do for second para. This you repeat for the third para. Advantage, disadvantage, essay. Don't have to write 5 advantages. 1 advantage is enough. For that advantage, support it with supporting idea, example. Disadvantage, 1 disadvantage is enough. Support it with advantage and disadvantage. For any kind of thing. Agree, disagree. You say I agree. Second para, write 1 idea, supporting idea, example and prove why you agree. Third para, write 1 idea, supporting idea, example and prove why you agree. Discuss both the sides. First side, second para, main idea, supporting idea, example and why you support that side, conclusion. Third para, main idea, supporting idea, examples and conclude why you agree to the other side. It's simple. That's just like the part 1 speaking, wherein just like in the speaking wherein we understood. Part 1 you precisely learn. Here as well you learn the art of coherence, cohesion. Main idea, supporting idea, example. Main idea, supporting idea, example. All these 3 should revolve around 1 single idea. You repeat that 1 more time. I mean, in second and third paragraph, easily you're gonna get a nice score for your writing. Don't have to put a lot of effort. Put the right efforts. Put the efforts rightly. So that's the reason I told 20% effort, wherein you get that, reap that 80% benefit. Having said that, we move on to reading module. In the reading module, well, there are a lot of shortcuts. The idea being very simple. Your reading skills need to be improved. There will be a very lengthy paragraph. Only amateur or a novice or a newbie who doesn't understand much about the techniques would read the entire line for the entire paragraph. But an experienced person, a wise person, would only read what is required. There's a technique called skimming. It just use internet, man. Type how to skim, skimming techniques. You get abundant resources to help you understand how to skim with eyes. That's a match heading. Match heading is the one that requires a lot of time because you need to read. Don't read. Or information matching. You need to read, find the information. Know what you want. Let's say you want that word apple. Let's say paragraph is about apple. You want to find out where that word apple is. Keep that apple at the back of your mind. This should only skim. It should just skim at the background. It will be scanning for the word apple. You get that apple, from there you read. You don't have to read the entire paragraph. Check out my videos, you will understand more about how to skim the paragraph. Basically, this consumes a lot lesser time than you think it takes. So when you know the things, it's very easy to implement. It's actually 20% effort with 80% super awesome result. So this way you can do for true, false, not given as well. Read the question. You know what the question, there are some keywords. Those keywords you skim it. Scanning by skimming, skim by scanning that word. Oh, this word I got, this is where you need to read. You don't have to read all the entire paragraph. So this, see, for reading, the time is the crucial thing. Given 10 hours, everybody gets 8 bands or 9 bands. Given 1 hour, that's the problem. For that, you need these strategies. For that, you need to put your efforts rightly. Getting it, you don't have to do everything. You just have to do what is required. That's for reading. Now comes to listening. Listening, Nakul, it's all easy. I'm getting good bands, but all our problem is MCQs. Let me start from the beginning. Listening, spelling matters. Listening skill matters. The first and the second one going to be really easy. Second, part 2 I'm talking about in the listening, wherein you have some maps. You need to find out the words, like across the, in front of the, pay more attention to these words and prepare well so that your mind just gets along the route. Use your finger to glide in front of the, beside, across, opposite, correct, underneath. So it should go northeast, northwest, north, okay, south, north. So this, when you practice more, maps become very, very easy. You don't have to put a lot of effort and practice a lot many questions. Absolutely not required. But yes, when it comes to MCQs, this is where people will have trouble. Correct? MCQs are a nightmare. Correct? How many of you raise your hand? Means everybody in the whole universe will raise the hand because MCQs, multiple choice questions are like that. Correct? So MCQs, there is a way out. You don't have to again put a lot of effort. Just understand what has to be done, what is required. These people don't understand. They just go behind the herd. A goat is just going, every goat just follow. Isn't it so? So here MCQs is the combination of listening skills, reading skills. You have an excellent reading skill, you will not have any complaints about MCQs. The problem is people don't want to develop the reading skills. That's where the problem starts. MCQs, they're gonna play an audio. When they play the audio, you have to listen, and in parallel you have to read. Try to eat and talk at the same time. 2 things at once. What is going to happen? We're going to mess it up. Brush and shave. It's difficult. 2 things at once is always difficult, but it's possible. Here they are trying to test to what extent can you manage, to what extent can you control. You have to listen and read at the same time. You cannot simply listen. After that you cannot read. Time is very less. You got to do 2 things at once. You listen, read at the same time. When you listen, there are some pauses, correct, full stops. In the beginning, the unwanted things will be there. Introduction, you don't have to listen. During that time, entire brain usage, just block your ears and just focus. Read the question, read the options. And when the actual content starts, you listen and read simultaneously. But this skill is not gifted for everybody. Only few handful of people have got this skill inbuilt. The others have to enhance it. Giving up is not an option at all. You got to enhance it. How do we do that? Very simple. There's an app called Dual and Back. DUAL space N space back. You download this app, the link in the description as well, the name of the app. You can download this from the Play Store for iOS or Android. Try playing it. If you're finding it difficulty on how to understand this game, it's so difficult, Google it, man. There are so many nice people around the world have given an introduction on how to play this game. Try this. This game tests 2 skills. It tests your reading skills, listening skills. They're gonna pop up a number, they're gonna play an audio, some sound. Number, sound, both the things have to be activated. That's where you activate the listening skill, the reading skill together. You can listen, you can read separately, but what if I ask you to do it together? That's where you put your focus. No. I put my focus into practicing a lot of things. Nothing is going to change unless that skill is gifted to you. Hope you're getting it. All I'm giving you is the right information. Use this and try out things. Definitely you will have a huge difference in your scores. It's like every day you practice mathematics. 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. Will you ever be able to solve a bigger mathematical problem? 100% no. Again, here every day you practice in the wrong approach. You listen and then you read. It is not going to work. You should listen, read separately. No, together. That app will help like this. There are so many things, so many secrets. Only a wise person or a genius would know how to do it. He will just do what is required. Otherwise, people end up doing lot of things, many efforts, not required. Put your efforts. This much is enough. This much of effort is not required. This is enough. But do it rightly. Put it rightly. That's what the intention of this video as well. I really hope this video helped you. If you really like the video, leave your appreciation with a thumbs up. This is Nakul signing off from Skills IELTS. Soon I'll be back. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. But before I leave, if not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, and anytime you need online assistance, do text us to the WhatsApp number given below on the screen. I'll be there. We will be there to help you, guide in the right direction. Till then, take care. Bye-bye until my next video.